Hello, today I'm going to be presenting about scopolamine. Oh, there you go. Okay, so this typically comes from the nightshade family, this drug right here. It can come from the nightshade flowers. Um, so modern use of the drug is usually, they use it in, some criminals use it in Colombia for extracting information since the drug makes people suggestible. The drug also has an additional effect, making it possible to forget those things that happen, as well as which kind of just makes it even more criminal. Abuse is associated with sexual assault and human trafficking, and making it, kind of have a bad connotation as a drug, since it associates with non-consensual activity. It's anticholinergic drug, so it blocks muscarinic acetylcholine receptors in the central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. The disrupting of the peripheral nervous system is what causes the memory loss in the first place, since acetylcholine is inhibited. So symptoms. Regular symptoms would be dry mouth and reduced sweating, which kind of tie together because some of the salivating glands get inhibited in the mouth. So that's why, the mouth gets dry, and then, it kind of reduces sweating outside. Dilated pupils as well is an effect, making the eyes, a lot more sensitive to light. It does cause a lot of confusion and hallucinations. Sometimes for some people in high doses it causes hallucinations. This also brings in blackouts, some muscle weakness, and blurred vision. So more on that. So some of the main affected functions would be memory functions, motor control functions in general, like it's hard to just be able to control yourself under this drug, consciousness, and really just autonomic functions as well. You really just can't control yourself, and what makes the combo even worse is you don't even know sometimes what you did under this influence. So parts affected. So this drug does affect the brain, spinal cord, and peripheral nerves, thus, the blurred vision. Scopolamine causes memory and autonomic impairment. It may also cause, as hallucinations, but, that's just in high doses. But, with those high doses, they also cause some seizure activity as well, which could be pretty scary. So this actually, surprisingly, even though this drug is pretty scary so far, it's Schedule 5, but there's a lot of reasons for that. Or not really, there's just some valid reasons for it, which is that it's not really the most wanted under the DEA because it's used in patches for motion sickness, which, has its uses. But it is illegal for, recreational and psycho activity. Or for, the abuse purposes, obviously. And it's used before operations to reduce saliva production during surgery. So, you could actually use the saliva in inhibition for use. It isn't really a threat on the DEA schedule because it doesn't cause any euphoria. And it's not really recreation friendly in the first place, since it makes people prone to blacking out. And, you don't even know what you did when you were blacked out, so, it's not really a recreational thing. The danger really does just come from the misuse, not really the dependence of this drug. So, some interesting facts. So this is also known as the devil's breath. People under scopolamine influence have lost their bank accounts to some criminals, who maybe slide it in their drinks. Maybe they're just tourists in Colombia, and they lose their bank accounts, man. Like, that sucks. Imagine losing your bank account and not even sometimes you won't even remember it. Using it, like, there's just no memory afterwards sometimes, or maybe they'll block some memories. But yeah, the drug really just takes away some of those memories, and you just don't even know who maybe you gave your bank account information to, and it really is just lost. Nope. Here's a pretty fun conversation though, and it's if it were legalized. This would be pretty controversial since it's so associated with crime. It could be studied to help people, but it's just like, and I could get to that right now, but like it really will just be about if those pros outweigh the cons. Like, maybe if it were used, it could be like one of those movie drugs that you could use to forget like painful or traumatizing memories, which could completely just change the medical market, like upside and over. Like, that would be a really crazy drug, but people might abuse it. I feel like people with depression might abuse it, and no one will really know who they are anymore if they abuse that kind of medication. But, at least it could be used to forget some very painful memories. Maybe some therapists at an extreme, if something gets extreme, they could use it. So, I don't know, maybe that could be cool for the medical market. But yeah, scopolamine, thank you for watching, and that's the end of my presentation.